Good morning, Pine Belt. If you're still daydreaming about your bed and your blanket, here's a wake-up call. There's only 5 more days in April, so summer is sneaking up on us. Can you really say that summer is sneaking up on us even though we're still in April? It doesn't happen in June.
No, in fact, I think we really only ended up with spring 2 days. The last 2 days have been spring, and I think the rest of it's like diet summer. Yeah,
it was, especially in South Mississippi. So I don't know, maybe we've already been in summer. I'm not sure. South Mississippi for you folks. Anyway, we got an event to tell you about. The 4th annual Farm to Fork kicks off tomorrow, rolling through Hattiesburg to raise money for Extra Table and Mississippi's food pantries. Excuse me. So here's all the info about it. Tomorrow evening, the rubber hits the road as dozens of cyclists from across Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and Tennessee tackle the Criterium, a 0.8-mile closed course through downtown Hattiesburg. The race begins at 6:30 between the Porter and the post office with a $3,000 prize on the line. Wow. And here's a look at that route. So take a look at your screens. If you're not planning to put the pedal to the metal, you can still pick out a spot to cheer on your athletes. Notice there are a few road closures that will start at 5:30. So plan ahead if your Friday commute takes you through downtown. Then on Saturday, cyclists get ready for the annual ride with 3 courses to choose from: 34, 48, and 62 miles. Wow. The ride kicks off at 7 a.m. at the Clyde Depot on the Longleaf Trace, and a little later in the morning at 8:30, runners take their mark for the 10K and then the 5K a few minutes later. And get this, Pine Belt, there's still plenty of time to register, so if you're an athlete and you're just hearing about this, you can check out runsignup.com for more details on all this. All right, Ryan, I would say there's a lot riding on tomorrow's weather. So, wow. Very cheesy. So, do they get the green light, all those athletes?
I believe so. I did this yesterday for our Weather Focus show, if you have caught that. 30-minute weather special, kind of breaking down the forecast for that. You can kind of see right here the whole...
Do I need to move?
Maybe. No, perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit there. You see that 86. That's going to be our absolute high, and I believe we're going to hit that earlier in the day as we head towards like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So once we start getting to where the roads start closing down at 5:30.
Please try again.
Please try again, Ryan.
What did I activate that?
Yeah, you said something that made Siri go off.
I did that a lot at home. Interesting. Then you see they're starting to close those roads down. It's starting to cool. By the time the race begins, we'll be at 80. So I don't expect any major problems, but with the humidity rising and the sun, we will have a couple of hours of it left. You're going to want to remember to hydrate and things like that. That's the only thing I would say weather-wise you need to think of. But I've heard this thing is like NASCAR for cycling. So for spectators and everything, should be pretty wild, interesting time. It's also happening with Live at 5, pretty much on Friday there, co-mingling events, I suppose.
You can say that.
So
all right,
cool,
a lot of athletes out there. I wish I were one of them.
I used to run distance. My leg doesn't want me to do it anymore, but I can still try.
You can say, well, maybe you can get out there and try. Start slow, friend.
Yes.
Start slow. All right, folks, we're going to move on. How do you take your tea?
I just like it unsweet, actually.
Really?
People laugh at me.
This is the guy who likes black coffee, nothing else. I don't see how he does it. Anyway, this Saturday, add a bit of whimsy to your cuppa with an after dark, Renaissance Fairy Tea Party. Let's see what this is all about. From 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. at Town Square Park in downtown Hattiesburg, enjoy vendors, games, storytelling, hair braiding, and a special presentation on fairy care. That's all open to the public for free, along with educational booths, and there will also be 2 specialty tastings featuring locally made blends paired with snacks and treats, and this is part of the event. That part of the event is ticketed. So I don't know what to say. Learn all about fairies and have some fairy tea.
I didn't realize you were talking about like English tea. And if that's the case, I believe I take it with a touch of cream and honey.
Okay, finally something I can get behind because your coffee intake, it's...
I like a little cream in that, occasionally. I like it. But I ended up with a fan on our social media from England.
Really?
Because we were doing those, like Vanessa and I used to do those dancing videos. A fan of, and we talk about this all the time. I was like, I really love like the whole concept of the tea service. Like it's like a thing that you guys do. Like you stop whatever you're doing and have your tea.
And have tea. And it's taken
cool.
very seriously. Like if we were to just go over there and have tea the way we have tea, we would probably offend a lot of people.
Yeah, they are very offended by how we do tea. Like microwaving water to heat it up, like in a cup, like that is, they would kick you out of the country for that. They would just be like, all right, you're done. Move
Kettle
along.
is a must.
I've got one of those, very, very classy. Boiling water the classy way.
Go ahead.
Well, anyway, the sun is bright and the air is warm for the gardeners and green thumbs among us, of which I am absolutely not. It is time to dig into the spring season. Hattiesburg Parks and Recreation is hosting its monthly art market and plant swap this Saturday from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Hattiesburg Community Arts Center. Celebrate Pine Belt creators, support the local economy, and find unique art and items to decorate your home for spring. Plus, bring your clippers and baby plants to swap. Plant swap, pretty cool idea there.
Yeah, that is a cool idea. I'm actually into plants, kind of. I'm not quite an enthusiast as some of the people that I've met in the Pine Belt throughout the years, but I can appreciate all the plants and gardening and the tranquility it brings to a lot of people.
I can appreciate it. But the reality of it is, what is it called when you kill everything you try to grow? Like a black thumb, like instead of a green thumb.
Oh, is it a black thumb if you can't grow anything?
I think so. I've heard it. I don't know if that's a real term or not.
Yeah.
But I always think to myself, like this picture behind us here, you're like all this stuff, like they planted these probably, but all this, like that just grows. Like grass and bushes and trees, they just grow.
Yeah.
Like a seed falls on the ground and it grows. But if I was to do it,
if you were to plant the seed,
it would like it can lay on the ground on its own and become a tree. But if I tried to do it, it would be done for.
You may be cursed with a black thumb. All right, I think we're going to talk more about plants. You can also support the newest generation of horticulturalists, that's a word, with the Forest County Agricultural High School plant sale. We've told you guys about this afternoon from 3:30 until 6. Stop by the school's greenhouse and check out their wide array of plants. Here are a few that you'll find. 3 different types of ferns, succulents, peppers, squash. See, now you're getting into what I'm into, planting the stuff you can eat.
Food,
tomatoes, cucumber, watermelon, and much, much more. Now, the money from the sale goes to the agriculture students at the school, and it funds their trips and competitions. And today is the last day of their plant sale, so you don't want to miss that, especially if you want to get in on delicious springtime squash.
Yeah, I would say there's something really magical about eating something that you grew.
Yeah.
And
but you would kill that too, right?
Yeah, I would.
I'm sorry.
I would starve if I had to grow it.
Right now I'm doing romaine and butter lettuce.
Okay. So that's good. I always have lettuce on hand because you make a sandwich and your lettuce goes bad pretty quickly. Like, so that would be great. I always have it on hand for stuff like that.
You should just try that. Start small. I don't think you can kill romaine and butter lettuce.
Well, I think we've got my son. We got him in a little herb garden with like basil and oregano, and I'll try to help him with that. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do like a social media thing. We'll follow along with my failures.
Just don't kill it. It'll hurt Sig's feelings.
I'm sorry. Well, also happening today, Hattiesburg Parks and Recreation is hosting its teen after-school art class. Kids 12 to 17 years old are invited to this free class where they'll create their own block print designs and prints. Super cool stuff. The class starts at 5 at the Hattiesburg Community Arts Center. A lot going on there coming up. All of these supplies are provided. You can find the link to register on the HCAC's Facebook page.
All right, there is a lot to do this weekend. You're going to garden, you're going to bike. What else? Running. You're going to do all those things. So you work up an appetite, I think.
I believe so.
So we're going to tell you about
for your lettuce.
Yeah. Now, if you want something more than just squash and tomatoes and lettuce, we're going to tell you about the Somang Korean Baptist Church. That church has you covered. They're serving up Korean staples and twists on some old favorites at the Spring Food Bazaar. Just look at these dishes. Check out that poster, like kimchi, pancakes, kimbap rolls, and spicy pork lunch boxes. You can see the selection and the prices there on your screen, but make your pick soon because the pre-order ends today. So here's a QR code that you can use to place your order now. Prepayment is required and the church takes cash, Venmo and Zelle, and then you pick up your order Saturday between 11 and 2 at the church. And Ryan, I am forecasting that the gardening, the running, all of that, plus the good food is going to be in a lot of folks' futures. So give them the forecast to have all that fun.
I can absolutely do that for you. That first thing on that little menu there, bulgogi, I'm not sure how to say it.
I see the first thing.
Oh, I'm going to have to get that. That looked amazing. Either way. The weather is looking pretty good. The last couple of days I have called, and I hope I didn't oversell this at all in my forecast, what I like to call Mary Poppins days. Practically perfect in every way. The temperature, the sky conditions, the humidity, all of it came together for about as good as it possibly ever gets in South Mississippi, which we know can edge pretty warm and humid pretty quickly. And that's what we're starting to see now. Today's still not going to be any slouch. I just can't call it practically perfect out there because you can see it's already looking pretty nice. We've got some clouds out there in the distance. I expect we'll start seeing more and more of those here over the next few hours. And once they build to about 50-50, which is where we're going to pretty much level off for about the next 10 days, it's not going to go away. It's just going to sit there and we'll have them every day. So there's still a couple of hours of this almost completely cloud-free sky to enjoy. I recommend you do because we can start to see those changes already. Like right now, 76 feels like 78. That means a 2-degree heat index. We did not have that at any point over the last couple of days where it's actually felt warmer than it was because the humidity was so low, but now it's starting to inch up. So you can see those clouds, those little puffy cotton ball ones starting to pop up out there. So that's pretty much all we're expecting. It's still not going to rain anytime soon. Actually, we could discuss that right now. You can see as we head into the afternoon, we warm up to about 85, which is down from where my high for today has been for the last couple of days. It was upwards of almost 87. I believe it was Tuesday. It looked like today would stay much more sunny and then the clouds would come in pretty much right before sunset. But now we're seeing them building earlier, so that's going to cool us a couple of degrees, hitting our high right around 4 to 5 o'clock today. So you can see the clouds in there, again, a 50-50 mix. There's still some sun getting through. We're still going to have an amazing sunset. Then you see, again, they just kind of build in. They'll thin from time to time. Then they come right back all the way into Saturday morning, and I believe this takes it into at least the early afternoon. You're still seeing at least that 50-50 or more mix, and that's going to continue through Sunday, into Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and then finally I think it starts to break up there with some rain mixed in there. Of course, none of that's coming today. You saw those sky conditions we just showed, getting upwards of 85 with that slightly thicker, again, 50-50 mix about at worst today with no rain or anything coming along with that, and then we start to cool through the night. And then we keep it. We warm another degree for tomorrow, then you see those clouds just kind of sit. There will be periods of time through here, especially as we start heading into the beginning of next week where we see those clouds thicken to more like 75-25 clouds of sun. That's mostly cloudy. That's what we'll start seeing as we see those rain chances beginning to creep in, which that 10% is really just like overnight, very early Monday morning is about the earliest we could possibly see that rain moving in. The interesting thing is normally when we get a front, that brings in some cooler and drier air. That's what happened to start off this week and why we had those very, very nice, I'm kind of see-through. With my jacket on, the green shirt works, but with I'm now noticing with it off, I'm not so. Anyway, moving on, you can see that we're still in the comfy range, but just below that sticky to humid range, and it starts going up as we head into next week, and then doesn't really fall. And that's the thing. It's going to stay still pretty humid, and our temperature just keeps going up and up and up. And we've got a 90 on the 10-day forecast into next week. I don't believe I showed it here at the end because I don't want to ruin anyone's day. But it's coming pretty quickly, those summer-like weather. But for right now, we're focusing on Monday as our rainiest day, starting to taper off Tuesday morning into the afternoon. You can see what that looks like here as this front slowly approaches us. We start getting pretty gusty over the weekend. Things will be rather breezy with gusts upwards of about 30 miles per hour all the way until the front gets here. Then you see it kind of fall apart. That's why we're not expecting any serious weather out of this, but will be some thunderstorms. And if one of those pops up under the right conditions, one can overachieve. So we'll likely have somebody watching it just in case. But even Tuesday afternoon here, you see it flare up, and then we just kind of keep getting missed by these very weak fronts, but none of them really bring us that big blast of cooler and drier air. And that's why instead of getting cooler and drier, it just keeps going up, and we see this 85 to 86, and then it cools as that rain moves in just barely. But look at that, by Tuesday the rain moves out, and instead of cooling, we jump up 3 degrees. And the next day is 88, and the next day is 89, and then it looks like, will it be, I don't want to say it, but it looks like we'll be into one of my favorite decades by the end of next week.
Oh no, at least nature waited until May, you know?
These last couple of days, I think we earned it though. I mean, they were amazing, so
yeah,
we had to get one of these coming up.
Yeah, at least it waited until May. Last year, we hit 90s in April, and it just got worse.
And then it never stopped.
It never stopped. Oh Lord, please don't let that be a repeat this year. All right, folks, that is all for your weekend preview. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you at midday.